Okay guys, welcome back. So today we are heading to Andover, South Dakota, and we are going to see the Case 150 pull a 44 bottom plow. So we're actually on our way home right now, but we managed to get a interview with Kory Anderson, which is the guy who built that steam engine, and we got a bunch of footage from it plowing. So stick around and I think you'll enjoy it.
You all ready?
Water level over there. Can you see my side glass? How much water I got in the side glass?
About half.
Half a glass. Very good.
So today we're here in Andover, South Dakota, and we're with Kory Anderson. He's the man who built this 150 horse Case steam engine. And you want to give us a little rundown of what it is?
Yeah, so this is the 150 Case Road Locomotive. This was originally built in 1905. The Case company built 9 of these, and none of them existed, and they all didn't pass the test of time. They eventually were scrapped, and in 2007 I found the original blueprints in the Case archives in Racine, Wisconsin, and it became a mission of mine to bring this engine back to life. In 2016 we started casting parts, and we built this engine completely from scratch in just about a year and a half.
So what was the hardest part of the build?
Probably getting everything engineered. So we had the original blueprints, but we had to reverse engineer everything, and we modeled it all into a 3D CAD system.
Okay.
And so once we had the 3D CAD models, and I had the whole engine built in 3D CAD, then we could make all the tooling that we had to make to cast the parts in the foundry.
Okay.
So I have a foundry in Webster, Dakota foundry, and our team there cast everything. We laser cut and formed all the steel parts. We did all the riveting up at a friend of mine's place in Fargo, Jim Bryden. We riveted all the rear wheels, the drawbars. We have like 4,000 3/4 inch rivets that we had to hammer and squeeze and put in hot. And yeah, it took us just under 2 years to finish it. We unveiled it here in Andover in 2018, and we pulled initially 24 bottom plow with it, and then last year we pulled 36 John Deere bottoms, and this year we're at 44.
What was your favorite part of the build? Was it getting everything together and being done, or was it an individual component? Was it finding the boiler?
I think it was the process of the build. Like, I love doing the machining most of all. So I would cast the parts here in Webster with the team at the foundry. We'd cast the parts, and I actually built it with a good friend of mine out in Sheridan, Wyoming, Gary Bradley. So I built it out in his shop. He helped me do all the machining, and I would say that was the most fun, was just like machining all the parts, seeing everything like piece by piece come together. And I mean, it was all just basically a pallet of parts on the floor, but it was just really cool seeing it all kind of come together. Then when we started assembling it in the middle of the summer in 2018, we assembled it and finished it in 2 months.
Wow.
So it came together pretty fast.
Yeah.
We started putting
all the legwork was before.
Yeah.
Building everything and all the engineering and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess last question, do you think it was a bigger feat for you to recreate this machine, or do you think it was a bigger feat for the men that built it in the early 1900s without all this technology?
I would definitely say it would have been a much bigger feat for them to build it the first time. They don't have any technology to work with.
No.
So an engineer has a concept. He has to communicate that to a drafting team that sketches it all out in detail, and they don't have any way to visualize what's coming together, which is the hard part. And that's the advantage we have with 3D modeling, is we can actually see it in 3D before we build it. But also, we CNC machined all the patterns. We 3D printed sand molds for a lot of one-off castings. We actually just 3D printed sand, poured the iron in. Didn't even have to make tooling for that stuff. So that was a huge advantage for us, versus just manually carving wood not just hand carving wood is what these guys would have had to done to make the initial patterns, and
That's
then
crazy.
casting the parts and machining it all without any good tooling or good equipment.
Yeah.
It would have been a tremendous amount of work, and they just had, it took hundreds of guys to do that back in those days, and whereas we basically built it with a handful of guys, ourselves.
I'm speechless. I mean, it's the first time I saw it was today, and it's really cool. It's really cool what you did. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah.
And we've got a show down at our place. You can take this, or I can give it to Allie later. But here's a flyer for our show down in Belleville, St. Louis area.
Yep.
3 years ago, we had 10,000 people at our farm over the weekend.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Those are all of our sponsors at the bottom. We've got a couple more that are going to join up here soon.
Awesome.
And check us out on YouTube. I can write down my phone number if you want on there, and we can exchange
That'd
whatever.
be great.
So,
Well, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys making the long trip. And driving
it's
through
worth
the
it. As soon as we got here, it was worth it. We knew it. So. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video of the 150 steam engine. I want to give a big thanks to Kory Anderson for taking the time to do that interview. It was really, really cool meeting you, and we had a great time. So stick around later this week. We're going to have another video out on the entire show, and I think you guys will like that as well. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.